This is the Seattle Podcasters Podcast, and I'm your host, Jason Rigdon. On this episode, I have Kathryn Kelly from Project Leadership with Kathryn Kelly. How are you today?
I'm so well. How are you, Jason? Thank you so much for inviting me onto your podcast. This is absolutely wonderful, and the fact that you're giving us all a platform to share here in Seattle is absolutely wonderful. So thank you.
Well, thank you so much for taking time and coming on the show today. Could you tell me a little bit about your podcast?
So I'm really excited about it. It's been a little over 1 year now. It really is an example of being fearful, of a project and overcoming that fear. So just like any other projects that I have done, and that process of, starting something new, it takes a lot of, energy and time and motivation and courage. And that's actually, my show is based on my work, my brand of Kathryn's Showroom and everything under the umbrella of Kathryn's Showroom. And I'm very transparent with my work as an artist, as a stylist, as a teacher, as a podcaster, as a blogger, as an illustrator. So I really like to show and discuss and share not only my projects that I'm doing, but also, the process and the emotional process and the mindset. I love to share and be transparent with, my wins and my fails, because I believe that, if I can inspire one person, one listener, one reader, one follower to embark on a project of theirs, either, whatever the field may be, I want to give them that energy and encouragement to do so, because I am an example of that.
So it's very inspirational, kind of like the documenting the journey kind of style.
Absolutely. And I think it's really important to have, because it's wonderful, to present your successes and the final product, but what was your process? And it's not every day is fantastic when you are that entrepreneur, when you are that artist, when you are, it's not easy every day. And I like to bring that into my writing, into my podcasting.
And how long have you been doing the show again?
It's been a year, a little over a year now, I feel. I'm going to be recording episode, I think 93, 94 now. Yeah. So, just, slow and steady and consistent and sharing with my audience, my work. And I'm very grateful and to my listeners for all of the feedback and messages that they do send me, because many of them are, thank you. Thank you, Kathryn. You gave me that energy. You gave me that courage to start something that I was fearful to start, because of fear of what somebody else may think of my work. So it's deep seated sometimes and mindful. And I think it's real, and it is real, and it's wonderful, especially when it's shared among, other entrepreneurs or artists that are just starting, right? Or even those in their college years, right? They reach out to me all the time. So it's wonderful.
And what made you attracted to podcasting and specifically?
I was scared of it, and I thought it was the coolest thing ever. And I'm like, maybe I can have a podcast too and bring my, my motivation, bring my energy, bring what I do and my inspiration to another audience, because I've always had my readers via my blog, or my followers via, Instagram and Facebook and Pinterest and all the other major social media networks, platforms. So I thought, I was really attracted to the idea of podcasts, because you can hear me. It's my emotion. It's my voice. And it's my reality. And I love that. And so I thought I can, that's why I continue to do it, bring that to another audience and they can actually, listen. And I thought that was just the coolest thing ever. So I started it and I was so scared and I was so fearful and I heard it in my voice. I was like shaking the first couple of episodes, and now I feel good. Now I'm talking to friends and family, which is amazing. So it's great.
And so what have been the biggest challenges of doing this show?
Just being open, right? And sharing. And I think but that challenge in itself is inspiring others. So that, that for me is incredible. So I'm not going to say, oh, it's so easy, I'm 100% comfortable. I'm not, because the content, depending on where I'm at in my process of whatever project or work that I am doing, right? It's not always like fantastic and glamorous. So, but I still want to bring that reality, and that's me being truthful and honest with my audience. So that is always, that's always a challenge to give that away and to show that for others. It's that honesty and transparency, which is so important. But it's scary. You're putting yourself out there, right? So.
And as far as rewards go, what have been the biggest rewards of doing this show?
It's been the feedback, is the connections, right? The connections with my audience. It's the getting messages from all over, from South Africa to Australia to across the United States and Europe. And they send me messages, and I just listen to your show. And thank you so much. It's, that energy, the encouragement, the positivity, you can do this too type of, of attitude and motivation. And, it's really nice that I can be part of their process. So that is, my idea behind the show. It is coming to fruition in terms of, the outcome, which is inspiring others. And that's just, for me, that's so beautiful. Like, that's everything. If I could be that positive inspiration for someone, then I've done it. That's fantastic.
And the files are being served on Anchor, is that right?
Yes.
And how have you liked them so far?
They've been great. And I love the fact that they too are growing. So I love to be growing with them.
And what kind of equipment do you use to actually record your show? Is it just on your phone?
It's my phone.
Wow. Mm-hmm. It's a very mobile setup. It's always with you, and you can do it whenever it's got a charge.
There you go. All set. Ready to go. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, it's good to have like a light setup, because, you never know when you're going to have even time. Because sometimes, like, a lot of people talk about how difficult it is just finding time to record.
Yeah, it's when inspiration hits, and I'm very consistent with it, which is nice. So, you turn your space into your podcast studio also, and that could be in your home office, which is wonderful, which is what I do sometimes as well, which is really nice.
And do you do any editing of your episodes, or is it just like you just go for it and it's like almost like doing it live?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. Maybe one day when I am more, when everything is more sophisticated, I hope to be in studio one day and have, like the setup and the editing and all of that. That would be amazing. So hopefully one day I will get there and I will be there. But right now it's very mobile, and it's the way I flow and the way I am right now. So it's great. It works for my lifestyle right now.
Do you ever do like multiple takes, or is it just like the first take and you just have to nail it? You just tell yourself, I got to make this work.
No, I mean, sometimes if it's great, it's great. I can see it. I can feel it. It's wonderful. Because I will listen to it before I publish. And if not, then, the most takes that I've ever done was maybe three. Like at the most.
Oh, okay, that's good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I go in to my episodes like it's not so much ad lib, like if ever, a couple times absolutely, which is kind of fun on the road and stuff. But typically everything I plan. There's a lot of planning. I do have a framework to my episodes. I have that consistency, and over time, over the year, it has grown to be a little bit more structured. So I'm trying new things, new methods, new ideas. It's really like I'm playing with the idea because I'm still young in the process, right? And I'm still trying. So what works, what doesn't, and that's okay because I'm growing as a podcaster, and my method and my style of my shows are also evolving, which is the cool thing because you see it and you feel it. So I'm loving the process. Absolutely loving the process.
And what does that show prep kind of look like? Do you have like a notebook or like a Google Doc or something?
I'm an artist. I'm a visual artist, so I love my papers and pencils and everything. So I have my art, like I sketch all the time. So for me, it's visual. I prep everything in my art books, on paper. Everything is written down and notes and all of that good stuff. So I need my visuals like that.
And do you have any advice for folks that are maybe thinking about starting a podcast or maybe just have a brand new show?
My advice is to, if you feel, passionate about that idea of yours, and you are fearful to start, the best thing is to start, right? And to enjoy the process. And it doesn't have to be perfect. Nothing has to be perfect. Just, it's giving your audience you and your energy and your talent and, your ideas and what you're passionate about. And, I hope that if somebody is, nervous or scared or not sure, or just you have to try. And if you don't like it, that's okay too, but at least you tried. I'm all about that. And I say be fearless and have that courage and confidence to take a try.
Yeah, I talk to a lot of folks and, they're very afraid of starting. And, like you said, it's very scary putting yourself out there. But this is like the advice almost every single person has given is just do it. Just push yourself.
Yeah. Yeah. And by the first one is like, oh, it's like, I remember like my first couple of episodes, my voice is shaky. My voice is all shaky and right. But then it's like, you get comfortable with the idea and you get comfortable with your delivery, and it takes time, but, and it's not going to happen in, one episode or two episodes. It's going to take many episodes to get a feel for it, and to find your voice as a podcaster, because my voice as a podcaster is different from, Kathryn the blogger versus Kathryn on social media, from Twitter to Instagram to Pinterest. Like it has a different feel to it. So it's another, for me, it's very artistic, and it's another, avenue to something a little bit where my style changes slightly, so that, self-discovery and exploring, it is so important, and it's exciting and it's fun. And I feel as though everybody should have a podcast, and everybody should at least try, because it is scary. And I think once you get over that, you find your voice as a podcaster, just like you would as a blogger. Right? It's finding yourself and discovering who you are, and being comfortable with a little bit of a change, because it is a change and it's a challenge. And I say, bring on change and challenge, and bring on, your own development, and pushing yourself a little bit. I'm all for that, because then you discover yourself and you grow. I'm 41 and I'm still discovering and growing. I feel like I've never had so much power and energy and courage than I did when I was 21. Right. So it's really, I love this journey, and I think it's beautiful, and I think it's important, and I think it's so vital to continue to grow and evolve and develop yourself.
And do you yourself listen to that many podcasts?
I love to explore, and I listen to different types of, different genres, because I think it's important. And I like to see what other, I like to hear other voices and opinions, and I think so. It's a whole bunch of different genres that I'm exploring. I think it's nice, and I love that medium. Like I just love the medium. Like I was saying before, it's to me, it's very artistic, and I'm loving this this medium for me. It's my newest one, and I really like it. So.
And how do you discover new shows?
I go through all of the, Anchor, Spotify. There's so many that iTunes. I also listen to those around me in terms of who's listening. There's a couple of colleagues of mine that listen to podcasts, so I ask them what are they listening to. So I see, I look, I observe, I ask to see what others are listening to and are enjoying. So it's reaching out into my network and seeing what's up, and
Yeah, that word of mouth is so powerful.
Absolutely. And then it's interesting to see what other people are listening to. And then when I tell them, oh, I have a podcast, that's another listener, right? And it's really fun because that's that word of mouth, like you were saying, it's so powerful. And then there's a support system too. So they listen to my podcast and they support, and then they tell their friends and family. So it's beautiful. It's really fun.
And how can people find your show?
So it's under anchor.fm. So backslash Kathryn Kelly. So Kathryn Kelly. However, my link is on all major social media platforms. So my brand name is Kathryn's Showroom. And so my link is available on Twitter, on Instagram, Pinterest, Snapchat, everywhere. So it's under Kathryn's Showroom, but a quick one, a direct link, you can go to Twitter. I'm really enjoying Twitter. I only started that not too long ago too, so that's fun. I appreciate the follows. And Instagram as well. And so my live links are there. Thanks to all of the podcast apps, I'm available on, Alexa and Spotify, and it goes on and on and on. So the access to my show is quite easy and fantastic. So I'm really grateful for all of the apps that have my show on their apps, right? So it's wonderful. So Spotify, Anchor, Castbox, iTunes, it goes on and on.
Wherever fine podcasts are found.
There you go. Yes, correct.
Well, thank you so much for coming on the show today.
Oh, thank you so much, Jason. I really appreciate the time that we've had together, and I'm so grateful that you set all of this up. It's wonderful. So thank you.